Yeah.
Yep.
What is your what's your favorite match? Wrestling match.
It's been a while, but like
the one that sticks out to you.
I'd say because like
because it's always like the first match that sticks to your head, right? Like that's like damn, that's what you remember. Like
it would probably be that one, you know, that
Mankind Undertaker,
Hell in a Cell. I mean, like
that's a hard match to.
Yeah, it's a really good match.
That's a hard not to say that's the best one.
When I was in middle school, dude, I actually like carried around a sock, dude, in honor of Mankind.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah,
I freaking carried a sock with like 2 buttons for eyes.
That's
and like,
awesome.
I was like so
for Socko.
Yeah, dude. Like I was like so like I just like inspired by Mankind and like everything I did. So
yeah.
I mean, I think that's why I did stupid stuff like jump on like burritos and like just I don't know.
You're just like out of control.
Yeah, I was.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so
that's dope.
Yeah, I mean that, and it was just like when I was a kid, like all that hardcore wrestling, dude, like that I saw. Like, how is this on TV? It's just like people beating each other up, getting bloody, and like that's what stood out for me in wrestling. Like nowadays, I see I see what you mean. Like wrestling has changed. Like they're a lot smaller dudes.
It's evolved, yeah.
Yeah, and I think what I see in WWE now is like, yeah, it is kind of like too clean. It's like too clean.
Yeah.
And I haven't watched
polished, right? Yeah, it's more polished now.
Yeah, and then like that whole Raw freaking like the Attitude Raw's War era kind of stuff was just like Vince with the gravelly voice, like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was just like super manly, dude. Yeah, it was raw.
Yeah.
And
Monday night.
And I think during that time you were watching too, they were competing with WCW at the time.
Yeah, they had competition.
Because you were around when Jericho came into WWE, right?
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
Chris.
That was one of the craziest shit. Like,
I don't remember that much, but so
I think it's So, just to give you like a short story, Jericho was someone that I felt was underutilized in WCW.
Okay.
So he was a cruiserweight. He was a cruiserweight champion, known as a cruiserweight. He was funny.
Right.
He had charisma. You knew he was going to be a star, right? They underutilized him in WCW, and his contract was coming up.
Okay.
So they were going to give him a new contract. Declined it.
Yeah.
Decided to join WWE.
Okay.
As soon as he joined, he was like the biggest, like, that was like the dagger in the heart that WCW. That's when it all. That's when it started to die.
Okay.
Because Jericho's debut was one of the biggest. I would say the craziest. Like it was a pivotal moment in the war. Yeah. The Raw and the WWF and WCW.
Rivalry.
Yeah, rivalry. Yeah, that's what pretty much was the dagger in the. I would say, what's the slow, painful death? A dagger in the stomach. So it gave a huge blow. Yeah. But it was a slow death because WCW was slowly dying after that happened. Right. So, it's just crazy. Like during that time, like it was raw. Like you said, it was raw. Yeah. Like that, it was visceral. It was more like
like just freaking violent.
It was just they didn't give a fuck.
Yeah,
right.
I was like, how is this on TV?
And I think it was like they had nothing to lose because they were going against this competition.
Okay, right.
So now they had no competition anymore. Yeah. So that's why it's so polished, it's so neat. They're like, now we don't gotta worry about it. Let's make it cleaner. What can we do to change? What can we evolve? Exactly. How can we evolve?
I mean, look at this. I mean, sometimes I look at the WWE logo and I'm like, bro, it's like, it's so clean. And like, I don't know, like, compare that to that. You see like, it's like chicken scratch of like some angry dude just writing on a wall.
Yeah.
He's in prison just like, or like barbed wire, you know?
Yeah.
And then that, you know.
It's polished now. It's like more.
I mean, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, that's how I feel about it. So.
Yeah. It's probably a good way of looking at it from the outside, like from the outside perspective. Yeah. I can see that. Yeah. It's definitely like like I would agree with you. Like it's definitely polished. Like it's more tailored. Yeah. To a specific demographic, and I totally agree with that 100%.
RJ, what would be your favorite match? It doesn't have to be WWE. It could be like any promotion.
I have a lot of like memorable matches.
I know.
I would say the one that sticks out to me, and one match that I actually focused on, the very first match as a kid watching, that I really watched from beginning to end, was the Iron Man match between Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart.
Oh yeah.
It was unique because it was a whole hour. So it was a whole hour pinfalls and as many pinfalls and submissions as you can do.
Uh-huh.
And it was a whole hour of them in the ring, just for an hour. Like it was there was like that was the time limit. Like, and you were guaranteed to wrestle an hour.
Yeah.
So like there's matches out there that are like, you know, that they just kind of have, like, it just kind of happens. It's an hour or close to an hour.
Yeah.
But this was strictly an hour. Like, it had to have been an hour.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if it's 10 pinfalls or like 20 submissions, it has to end in an hour.
Right.
So they actually wrestled so it was the first of its kind to like just wrestle for an hour.
Wow. Yeah. Wow.
And I remember I didn't think of that at the time. I just thought, wow, this is like a wrestling match, right?
Yeah.
And as a kid, I'm like, damn, he's coming out from the like pulley, like, because Shawn Michaels came out from like the top of the stadium, and like he slid to the ring, like with that pulley.
Yeah.
So that shit I remember. I was like, damn, I really want to watch that match. And that was another one of those matches that had context before the match started. Like, there was a build-up before the match started. Like, Bret and Shawn Michaels had a rivalry.
Yeah.
And right now, like, even to this day, they have a real rivalry.
Yeah.
But Bret, like as a kid, I just remember watching that, and like I was really glued in, and I really wanted Shawn Michaels to win.
Yeah.
I just knew, like, halfway into the match, like I didn't know who to root for, and I knew halfway into the match I wanted Shawn Michaels to win. I wanted him to win the title.
Yeah.
I didn't know why I wanted him to win the title. He was cool as shit, but I knew he was cool already. But I really liked Bret also.
Yeah.
Our household was torn. So like our whole family watches it.
Yeah.
Watches wrestling, and like I remember me and Neil wanted Shawn Michaels to win.
Wow. Okay.
But I think like my cousin, my older brother wanted Bret to win. So it was kind of like generations. It was kind of like generations going against each other, and they're not far off from generations. It's just like you know, I felt like that was a passing of the torch match for Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
And now I see it now. It's a pivotal moment in wrestling that champions can be smaller.
Yeah, because he was a smaller.
So he was a smaller wrestler.
Yeah.
So like that was the start of like cruiserweights could be a champion.
Right.
So now you see like Jericho was a world champion. You see Kenny Omega is a world champion. And they're all almost they're smaller. They're heavyweights now, but they were cruiserweights at some point at a
Remember we
point.
went to that Hot Topic in
Oh, is it Long Beach?
Long Beach, like we saw them and realizing how like the Young Bucks and
I was
Kenny,
like, yeah, Kenny Omega was like high height. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
shit.
like it's not like it's like wow, it's like you guys are not that tall.
Yeah, Young
and I
Bucks
was
are
like, you know
not
what?
either, so.
Yeah,
And
but they kick fucking ass,
they
man.
they fucking do.
Yeah.
Oh my god. And
You'd be
that's
amazed.
what it
You'd be
comes
amazed what these guys can do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just unheard of. Like, I mean, the way, like, it's just so absurd. I don't know how to describe it. They know how to do tag team wrestling.
Yeah.
It's just incredible.
So what about like modern era? What would you say for like a match?
Modern era, that's tough, man.
Yeah, like,
I got to think about this. So
there's so much happened in the last 5 years.
yeah,
It's ridiculous.
yeah. Man, Kenny Omega and Okada come to mind to me.
Yeah.
The first one.
First one, yeah, definitely.
The very first match. When I'm talking WWE, modern era. Shit. That is tough for me. There's some really good.
There's some good ones.
Yeah.
All mine are.
Oh, Daniel Bryan versus Triple H versus Randy Orton and Batista was a really good match.
Oh, okay.
It was a triple threat.
Yeah.
Triple threat. Daniel Bryan's like this like underdog, another smaller guy wrestling bigger dudes, winning the title.
Okay.
So it's just an underdog story, and like he had a really cool chant. Just thinking like 80,000 people like screaming like yes, like fucking like doing his like little chant. It was crazy. So that was lit. I thought that was a really good match.
Edinburgh's awesome.
Man.
The guy coming from PWG and like from like really small, like, you know,
Yeah, NXT. Actually, oh no, you know what? No, there is one that stood out in modern era for me. It was Bailey and Sasha.
Oh yeah, that was. I feel like
Bailey, Sasha.
that easily could be like the best women's match like in recent.
It could be one of the best matches in history.
Wow.
So it's a women's match. So it's crazy. So it is the very first. I'm not gonna lie. It's one of the very first like women's matches that I really like enjoyed.
Yeah.
Like, was really glued into. And I mean, there was some good like women's matches, but I wasn't focused on it. I'm not gonna lie. Like as a kid, you know, bra and panties. You're like, damn, okay. But I was actually focused on the wrestling.
Right.
And these women kicked fucking ass, dude. Like, if you get a chance, that match is just like an incredible. You just like there's a lot of holy shit moments.
Yeah.
They just do some crazy
that was
shit,
Iron Man
dude.
match too.
The second one was. The first one wasn't.
Okay.
But that first one in Brooklyn was just incredible. It was a great match. People were like the whole place was loud. They were like jumping off the ropes. Like it was incredible. It was an incredible match, and for women, I think it really solidified like the women's wrestling in the mainstream. So, like I don't want to take anything away from indie women wrestlers, because I'm sure there were really good ones. But I think in the mainstream, as far as like bringing it out to the masses, that match like broke barriers.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, it totally did.
It was a barrier breaker.
Yeah,
that match. So I'd say I think that one sticks WWE wise or WWE NXT wise. That sticks out to me the most. And then Kenny Omega Okada one is just incredible.
I stayed up till 4 a.m. to watch that one.
Dude.
Yeah. It was a great match.
I think that was like the first Wrestle Kingdom match I seen in Kenny Omega. Because I remember when you were showing me highlights before. Yeah, it was like, dude, he was fucking crazy already. Yeah. And then I think right when I picked up my New Japan subscription was like right in time for the finals.
For the
G1 final. Like, and then like,
that's when he won it, right?
Yeah, it's the one where he beat Goto.
Yeah.
Beat the shit out of him with like 3 finishers.
Yeah.
So I mean like.
Jerky?
Yeah, it's the jerky from the trip. Yeah, go. Yeah.
Oh, this is from the.
Yeah, it's Frank's. I don't think he's gonna eat it. Just go eat it. It's like.
This podcast is sponsored, not unofficially sponsored, by Abayoyo. Ayobayo beef air dried slices. You can get them in Nevada.
And what was it called again? You remember what it's called, Mike?
Oh, what?
The store that we went to.
Oh shit.
Was it?
It's our sponsorship, yo.
Was he Eddie something?
It's good.
Eddie's.
Eddie's?
No,
Eddie
Eddie something. Eddie World. It was Eddie World.
Eddie's World.
Eddie World. Just Eddie World.
Is it Eddie World?
Yeah. Like Eddie, like edibles.
Oh. Is this an edible?
No.
Oh. I was like, wait a minute. Hold on.
Surprise!
I mean, look,
Surprise! No.
What'd you say?
Holy crap, guys.
Like,
I haven't been high in like 10 years.
Why is it like
pretty tight. Okay.
I'm trying to think for me. You know what's funny? I feel like when I was a kid, like there's like one terrible match that like totally sold me when I was a kid, and I think that was SummerSlam Undertaker versus Undertaker. So like I think when because that's when me and Mike started watching WWE.
Yeah.
And it was like we were like, damn, this is so sick. And then like all of a sudden like freaking Ted DiBiase comes out with another Undertaker after the other Undertaker like was dead. So when the real Undertaker came out, I was like I was so blown away. I was thinking to myself, like, damn, it's exactly like a video game.
Yeah.
Where you pick like the clone character, and it's happening in real life.
Yeah.
So it blew my mind in so many ways as a kid.
Wow.
And I was like, oh my god, what the fuck's gonna happen? And then when I watch it, like, I'm like, dude, that was a fucking terrible match. but I did like the finish.
Yeah.
Like it was because it was you got tombstone like what 4 or 5 times or something like that.
Some ridiculous
number of tombstones, and then he finally got put in the casket.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, so ridiculous.
Yeah.
But obviously like the legendary matches like Undertaker, Mankind, Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
Obviously that's like one of the really cool ones too. I
like
think a lot of my favorite matches had a lot to do with Undertaker.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I think
we watched a lot of Undertaker.
Yeah, we did.
I remember this now.
Undertaker was dope, man.
Undertaker.
Yeah.
Undertaker. Have you guys seen Undertaker Stone Cold SummerSlam?
Yeah.
SummerSlam '98. That was a really good.
That was a really good match too.
Stone Cold had a really good match.
Yeah.
Also.
I'm trying to think about it from modern era.
Steve Austin.
I mean, obviously,
Steve Austin.
I mean, like honestly, I remember we always talked about like
That's the bottom line.
Yeah, so I'm thinking like from modern era, obviously Okada Omega.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of hard to say because like one was really good, and like I feel like one kind of cemented like like there is like really good wrestling outside WWE.
Right.
But at the same time, I feel like Omega Okada 4. Definitely like.
That was an incredible match.
That match was
Dominion, right?
So good. Oh yeah, it was the freaking best 2 out of 3 falls.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that's the one that went it went like an hour and like 5 minutes or something like that. Yeah, and that was like the one where, because dude, remember we were watching that? Like we were watching it like 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And like we're just going like Okada pinned Kenny like really quick, and you're like, oh fuck. Kenny's gonna get so fucked over, like it's not even gonna go 60 minutes, and like the whole and then they kept teasing it,
right?
Like he was gonna get pinned the second time, like for like a whole hour, and you didn't even know who was gonna win.
It's crazy, man. Those guys, what they do is incredible, man.
Yeah, that's some cardio. That's what I can say for sure.
I actually saw a Japan. Those Begin Japanology. Have you guys heard of those shows?
Yeah.
So I saw him do like his workout. So before it was crazy. So before I even knew Kenny Omega, I watched this show called Begin Japanology.
I saw that. It was like with Kenny Omega, right?
So they had one with Kenny. So as they had him as a Japanophile.
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah.
And they had him as a Japanophile, and he was just he was just immersed in the country. Like he was just starting to get to know. Or starting to get acclimated with Japan, and you just see him now. He's just like, dude, he's blown up to be this like global icon.
Yeah.
I didn't think he was gonna be blow up. I didn't think he was gonna blow up the way he did. I knew he was gonna be very good in wrestling.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was gonna blow up the way he has. Like now, like it's gotten. Like I thought eventually he was gonna be like, all right, Kenny Omega, this guy's gonna be a star. He's gonna go to WWE.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
right.
That's simple, right?
Yeah.
Like that's like the typical that's what's gonna happen.
Right.
We never thought that they would blow up so much, that their YouTube would blow up so much, that they would make a wrestling company.
Right.
Yeah.
It's insane.
You can honestly think, like, if you think about it, like, if Omega Okada 1 never happened, I don't think we would be where we're at right now.
Nope.
At all.
No, we wouldn't. We wouldn't. And
Kenny would be in
great to
WWE.
see. Like, honestly, it's great to see.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean AEW, right?
No.
No, I mean,
because we're talking about how, like, okay, was it beginning of 2016, right? I think it was. So like when Wrestle Kingdom happened, that match was like so monumental. But a lot of people like were just getting to know Kenny Omega, even including me.
Yeah.
Because when I started getting to New Japan, it was like 6 months before that all went down. Like,
right.
For the match, so like the build-up was crazy. And like, what do you think the buzz was exactly? How like they got eyes on him? Because I feel like the only way, like outside of the Bullet Club, whole thing, like I think it would just be like the fact that he won the G1. He was the first foreigner to win the G1.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the first foreigner.
If I remember correctly, I think that's what they said.
He might be the first, or this, because I'm thinking he might be the first foreigner. Because I'm thinking, I think either AJ won the G1 or the New Japan Cup. So I think Kenny Omega. I think what happened? Yeah, Kenny Omega might be the first foreigner, and AJ's the first one for
New Japan Cup.
New Japan Cup. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So yeah, he is the first foreigner.
So I feel like, and then you know what? Now I think about it, because AJ Styles went to WWE like beginning of the year, right before the whole thing happened. And I think the fact that he did, I think it also is. I think it's because Kenny Omega did the Styles Clash. Remember that?
Yep.
He basically did all the callbacks. So he basically did Finn Balor's like Bloody Sunday, as Prince Devitt, and then he did like a freaking Styles Clash, which is AJ Styles' move, AJ Styles has been in WWE for like I think 7 months when he did that. So basically, it was like, dude, this guy pulled off freaking like a bunch of moves at once, and then did the One Winged Angel, and won the thing, and then became the first foreigner to win the G1.
Yeah.
So I feel like that might have like got made some waves,
Right.
But I feel like the classic of Okada's he's like on this crazy ass run. Kenny Omega, he just like freaking blew up so fast in 1 year that basically it was like it was just like a monumental match coming in. Like the build-up was so good, and then the match that they like freaking did was like so ridiculous.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Yeah, because it's like was it Meltzer gave it like obviously like a big rating. Like he gave it what, 5 stars. Yeah.
So from what I hear, like
6
Okada
stars,
was
something
like
like that.
was like the champion or something like that, and Kenny Omega was like
He's like
fast.
pretty much.
And Okada's been he was a champion for like more than a year.
Okay.
So it was like a year and like almost 2 years.
Like his run was like so ridiculous. Like I
Yeah.
think he had like was it like a 2 year about 2 year run, right?
Yeah. It was it was close to it.
Like he never
It was
lost.
pretty ridiculous.
After he got the belt back, he never lost like for that whole time until like Okada Omega 4, which is like ridiculous when you think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a while ago, you showed me the video of Kenny Omega's like intro.
Yeah.
For Wrestle Kingdom, the one.
Oh,
we were at.
yeah, Wrestle Kingdom 13. Yeah.
Dude, yeah, and so like I knew that you guys were into wrestling for a while, and I was like, it's cool.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I didn't really watch wrestling for myself. But when Miles showed me his intro, where he had like the freaking like the wing, like the freaking Sephiroth wing over one arm.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And the armor, I was like, hold on, this is sick.
Yeah.
Even the music, I think they took that music from like that one game.
Oh, they came out like Hopes and Dreams
Yeah,
from what's that game called?
Oh, Undertale.
Undertale.
Yeah, so check this out. I was like kind of sad during that, like I don't know. That was like in the beginning of the year or something.
Yeah.
And like I literally would watch that intro like 20 times a day for some reason.
Oh man,
because it made me
Dude,
so
you know
happy.
what? That song is so good.
Yes.
I'm kind of sad that like he couldn't take it with him to AEW.
I know, huh?
I was like, damn.
Right?
I'm sure if he told
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure it might be like some way you can get it.
Well, hopefully they're in the works.
I mean,
But,
sure
but his
he's
new theme
doing-
is good too, so it's not like I'm like bashing
Yeah.
the new one. I just like that Wrestle Kingdom was
Dude,
dope.
that was
Yeah,
like-
it's
Yeah.
yeah.
That was like part of me was like going like, damn, this new intro's dope. Don't sign anywhere else, please.
yeah.
But then I you know deep down he had to.
Yep.
But did you see the Starcast interviews like with Kenny Omega and stuff? Oh, dude. So like basically he was like telling a story like they're like, well, why didn't you guys sign Kota Ibushi? And Kenny Omega said he didn't ask him purposely because he said that his dream before like the whole thing with DDT was to become IWGP
World champion.
Yeah, and he said that if he asked Kota, he probably would have said yes and agreed. But he said like I didn't want to take that away from him.
Yeah.
So it's crazy, and he was like tearing up and stuff too. So it was really dope.
It's another that's another story to be told. That's another story to be told.
That's why I'm like, damn, he has to come
Kenny
back.
Kota is a good story.
He definitely has to come back.
To be told.
He definitely has to come back for a match.
Like
Yeah.
AEW is gonna really take the cake with this is that their stories are gonna be very strong.
Yeah.
Like Kota worked with Kenny, like there's an actual relationship there. The whole thing with Dustin and Cody, that's like a relationship, you know. All the stuff that's gonna be coming through with these different wrestlers are gonna make it like
It's like storylines that like
cool
transcend
storylines.
like promotions.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
And like you've known this, like you've seen like everyone that saw that match, they've seen a Goldust match somewhere in their lives.
Right.
Even if you're just new to wrestling, you probably know Goldust. You probably seen him.
I love Goldust. Man.
Yeah, and then like
He's shit.
and
He's
even
the
some of
fucking
his
shit,
like I mean like I missed the whole Stardust thing when it happened.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't into wrestling at the time. And I think I was like,
was promising.
yeah, and I remember like I looked back and checked some stuff out, and I thought it was like it's pretty interesting.
Yeah,
You know,
promise.
No, I definitely don't agree with you, but
Wait, who's Stardust?
it's Cody Rhodes. Like
Okay.
it's like so basically they gave him that gimmick like
it's like
a couple years before he left.
It was Goldust's brother.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay. Exactly.
and they were a tag team.
So he made him like a flamboyant,
Okay.
another flamboyant character.
Got it.
Yeah. Yeah. He did that. Shit's funny,
I
dude.
love it. I love it.
Oh, dude, when they're taunting each other in the ring, with like the whole.
Yeah, they did to each other. It's
Yeah, they did to each other.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, I mean, it's just like crazy stuff. Like, yeah, it's like storylines that transcend like promotions and stuff.
So I was watching like Mike's like story when you guys were over there on Instagram.
Yeah.
And I just saw like a bloody ring, and I was like, because I didn't really know that much about like the whole like the story behind the fight between. You mentioned it before you left, and I was like, okay, so there's the two brothers.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of blood on the stage, so I just like kind of figured it out in my head, and I was like, wow, okay. This is the baptism by blood.
Yeah.
To the new age of wrestling.
So yeah, no, I agree with
It's
that.
crazy because like he had half his face painted red.
Yeah.
And at one point it was like, dude, you can't even tell.
all red.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, the paint probably rubbed off and it's all blood now.
Right.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I was like, there's so much blood on that.
Did you see the freaking zoom up of his face and stuff?
Yeah. I think
Oh,
so.
dude,
There was so much blood.
so much blood.
was
Yeah,
awesome.
let me see. Let me see if I can
That's
find
what I
that.
love about these guys, that they're these performers that are willing to go to the next level. And you see, like we actually watched the
Yeah, like this.
the recording. You see him like going down on the ground, just like no, with a fucking knife. Like no, what are you doing, Dustin? Why? You're like like shit. And you know it's gonna be bad. I'm like,
Oh yeah, hey, remember when everyone was chanting like "Fight forever"? I'm like, no,
Like,
no,
like, I started
no.
that. Like, what am I doing?
He's gonna
kill
die.
themselves.
He's gonna
I'm like,
die.
no, fight.
I started.
End the fight.
Please.
We care about you. Please stop.
Please don't die.
Please
He's
don't
gonna die.
Please don't die. We love you. Come on.
We love you. We
Shabba.
love both of you. You don't have to do this anymore.
We love you. Oh, dude. So I gotta. Sorry, switching gears.
We can switch gears.
Oh, no, it's
No. Wait, doesn't.
No, you actually got to.
Wait.
It's alright.
Nice.
That's perfect.
It's Sturham Production.
Yeah, motherfucker. Eat ham, bitch.
People say about big out and black clap.
Boomba clap.
Boomba clap.
Boomba clapper. A boomba clapper.
Dude,
I have
did you
no
see
idea.
the?
It's a bad